own journey. I got started back in 1975, long before a lot of you were born. I'm 13 years old. I'm reading a book called Working by Studs Terkel. He interviewed a lot of people about different careers, different professions, and there was this one guy. He was in his mid-20s. He had gotten a job, and he's got a good paycheck. He got good benefits, and he got 2 weeks vacation every year. And then one day he's doing the math, and he divided that 2 weeks into the 52 weeks of the year, and he came up with 26. And then all of a sudden he said, oh my God, I'm going to work 26 years for this company just to get 1 year of my life to myself. That changed my life. I started thinking, hey, if I design my own life, then maybe I can start to pursue anything that caught my interest, whatever it was. But there was like hundreds of books on careers, but there was not a single book on how to follow the path I wanted to go down. I was going to have to figure all that out for myself. And I'm not saying what I ended up doing would work for all of you. All of us make our own decisions, but where I was heading felt right to me. Now, it taught me how to work my way through any situation. When I came back here, I got 2 jobs at 2 different ad agencies. I had to have 2 jobs because the first one fired me after 6 months, and then the second one fired me after 6 months, and then I started to notice a pattern there. And I had to get busy. I had to go back to the lesson I had learned when I was 13 years old. So I went solo. I became a freelance copywriter, and I struggled at that for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden I realized if I did a little quick revision, hey, I could become a travel writer. That sounds good. Man, I had cracked the code, because as a travel writer, I was going to get paid. I was going to get paid to go on vacation now. And if anything, if any place piqued my interest, all of a sudden I could sell the story to an editor and I could go there. And I did that. And a couple of years later, I've got newspaper articles and magazine articles and all over America. And then after a little while, that started to get routine. And then I'm thinking, okay, what do I do next? Okay, what am I going to do? Hey, what if I sell a book on touring America on a motorcycle? That sounded pretty cool. And so I sent out 60 queries to 60 different publishers, and I was amazed when I got 60 positive responses. And they all said, positively not. They all turned me down. But was I going to quit? No, not this guy. No. I called number 61. I pitched her on the idea. The acquisitions editor said, where have you been? We've been looking for 2 years for somebody to write a book like that. Holy cow. My wife Nancy and I, sitting right over there, we sold our house, we took the money, we spent the next year traveling all over America, and the book that came out, Great American Motorcycle Tours, became the best-selling motorcycle guidebook in the country. And while I was on that trip, I'm riding down US 101 in California, Pacific Coast Highway, and I got an idea. I thought, hey man, that might be a good book. So I called National Geographic. I managed to get an editor, and I pitched him on this idea. Hey, what if I write a book about American icons and events and festivals? And hey, a few weeks later, I had the contract, and I wrote the book USA 101. And I still wanted to expand my range. The day the book came out, I found the number for the Cunard line in England. And I placed a call, and I asked them, I said, hey, could I speak to somebody in your entertainment department? And they patched me through, and a lady answers the phone. Yeah, this is Fiona. And I said, hi, Fiona. Do you hire speakers to speak on your ships? Because their ships sail all over the world. And she says, yes, we do. And I told her about the book. And, well, long story short, that was in 2009, and I've been sailing to ports around the world ever since, just lecturing on American history and musical icons. While all of this is going on,